Hi, Galen. My name is Bridgett. I'll be your counselor today. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to meet you today. But before we get into our session, I do have to talk to you about some informed consent things. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
All right. So to start, there, confidentiality. We do whatever is said in this office stays in this office, unless there's a few things. Unless you are talking about harming yourself or harming somebody else. There is recent child abuse or elder abuse or any vulnerable population. I can't really, pinpoint the elder abuse, but um, and or if we get subpoenaed for court, I will have to release those records out to them due to that document. Is there any other questions or concerns about confidentiality?
I can't think of any at the moment.
Okay, confidentiality is a big one. I honor that quite every session. So if you feel that you need to ask any questions, please let me know and feel free to reach out. Um, my cancellation and no-show policy. Cancellations, please try to cancel 24 hours in advance. No-show policy, if you do no-show, I will charge you half of what our fee normally is. You will be invoiced via email or a phone call. Our billing department will get in contact with you. I know that life happens. I get that. But we try to, free up the space if needed. Um, if that's, and then we can reschedule you as needed too. I want you to get the best care as you possibly can. Let's go over some risks and benefits of therapy since we are doing some telehealth. One, I want you to be in a nice, safe area, um, not driving, make sure it's a nice, quiet space because we do talk about some heavy stuff from time to time, and I want you to feel as safe as possible. Um, some risks. You might feel worse before you feel better. Because again, we might get into some heavy stuff in your own time. I don't rush that. Also, with it being telehealth, I can't really I can guarantee the safety of your records and our videos, but at the same time, with the hackers out there, you know, I can't really. If there's a breach, we will let you know. When we will try our best to get that together. Um, the next point of business is write to your client records. Everything that we say, everything that we do, I record down, I write notes on. Um, and if you ever need that for anything, please reach out and let us know. We will get that for you in a timely manner. Communication outside of treatment. I prefer email communications, or you can call the office and leave a voicemail. Give me at least 24 hours and I will get back with you as soon as I can because I know that your time is important, my time is important, and I also want to make sure that you are treated fairly and in a timely manner. At terminations and referrals, at any time you can terminate our client-patient relationship, as in referrals as well. If you feel like you need more or something I cannot provide, please feel free to reach out to me and I will refer you to the best possible person I can. Um, is there any questions thus far?
Um, you said I could request client my records, right?
Mhm.
Are
Yes.
you able to send that via email if I wanted
Oh,
that?
yeah, absolutely. You can come in and get them if you'd like to. We can even sit down and interpret them if there's words in there that you may not know. I do use clinical language, especially if you're using it for yourself, um, or anything else. We can put it on a CD or a disk drive, anything you'd like. We're pretty versatile. I know that times have changed and the technology and things have changed, so just let me know what works best for you. Um, we can fax it, we can email it to, as long as you sign an ROI, which is a release of information to a doctor or anything of that nature, we can do that too. Um, we just started this. It's called the right to faith estimate. Think about if you go to the doctor and excuse me, have a procedure like a surgery or something, and they give you an estimate. This is kind of like that, but what we do is that we sit down, we map out how many sessions you want a month, whether insurance covers it, um, how many sessions you want, period, and we can go on that estimate. Um, Again, it's completely up to you how many times you want to see me. We can work that out. Counseling relationship, strictly professional. We are on Zoom for right now. If our office does open up, you'd be able to come see me in office. I'm more than happy to see you there. Um, but I'm not, I, but that's about for ethical and boundary purposes. That's how that's going to go. But please feel free, though, to reach out to me via email or via phone if you are in a crisis. Much rather you do that um, than try to do that on your own. Um, I know that we covered a lot, and I know that questions might pop up. Do you have any questions for the whole thing, or
Um, I guess my other question is you said like when if I were to you would have to say something if I was to hurt somebody. What if I was just to like hurt somebody's feelings? Like I just told them you know, they smelled and I made somebody cry. You're not gonna like I'm not gonna get in trouble, right?
absolutely not? We
Okay.
can talk it out. We can reframe for next time. We can learn some coping techniques. I do kind of go through some CBT, DBT techniques with you, some coping skills. Um, throughout the way, whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, hurting someone's feelings is definitely something different than, wanting to harm somebody, physically, you know. But yeah, good question.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I can think of.
All right, well, I'm excited to get started with you. So yeah,
Okay. The
lay it on
first
me.
it's not bad, I promise. The first thing that I want to address is when you guys are talking about getting access to client records, you said interpret instead of like discussing, whereas I don't think you're interpreting your notes rather than like deciphering them into layman's terms.
That makes sense. I was trying to think of the word and I was trying not to fumble too much because I already thought I was saying too much. So I was trying to figure out, like, my brain was kind of calculating what to say, and I feel like that's what came out.
Because
But
I
I'm
feel like
glad you understood what I meant, though.
Yeah, because I feel like using the word interpret in that kind of scenario is like the wrong word.
I
Because
want,
it's
yeah.
mostly less like, okay, so you've already interpreted things that like your client said. You've then wrote down stuff, confirmed it with your client, and now you're reinterpreting it when they get their records.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. After you say it back like that, then yeah, I know.
Um, my next note is during your different sections of I guess, rubric essentially is what it is. You really didn't give an awful lot of chances for questions to be asked for clarifications and waited mostly until the end, which a lot of the questions that could have been asked probably got lost with the newer information. So just making sure we give space for questions.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I got to work on that for sure.
The one thing that I absolutely did like is
Mhm,
your clear setting of ethical boundaries,
mhm,
while still letting the client know that they can still reach out to you if they need assistance
mhm.
in pertaining to their treatment and stuff. So that part was really good. Um, and then I also really liked Caitlin's question about needing to get a better understanding of what you meant by like hurting others.
Mhm.
since you did not specify if it was physical harm or not. So that was good for Caitlin as a client, and then good for you as the counselor to help address that. Um, and then at the end, you also started using acronyms that aren't
Yeah,
widely
CBT,
known.
CBT. I
So
was
like when talking to like a new client, maybe not using the acronyms.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was looking over here on the optional like area, and it says explain your approach, theory, etc. And I know that like on like psychologytoday.com, sometimes they put what they're specialized in
Mm-hmm.
on those, and that's kind of like what my thought process was. And that's what I use in group therapy now. So I kind of just, but I understand what you're going with. Like, no one, not a normal person is not going to know what CBD, TBD, you know
Yeah.
what I mean,
So instead
is.
of just using the acronyms, like I know it's going to be a mouthful, but use like the full.
All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have just a few things I wanted to bring up. Um, you said about like if I was in crisis to contact you.
Hmm.
It is like our jobs as counselors and therapists are not to help in times of crisis. I guess like it would be better for them to call 911 or like a mental health crisis line. Um and then the other thing was when I asked about like kind of like what Courtney was saying about the acronyms. My question was more directed to confidentiality, and when we started talking about how we talked about how we could fix that or like, put that in a different direction when I was just asking, "Oh, are you going to tell on me if I tell somebody they smell?" So I think it was just a miscommunication, but I think you did really well. You know, you
Yeah, you did a lot better this go around than you did when we practiced it on Monday.
Oh, good. That's what, that was one of my main concerns because I was like, because I'm so nervous. These videos have got me like frazzled and it's like, oh my gosh. Because I've
yeah.
never done it before. So this is all new to me. And I'm sure it's new to other people too, but I'm just,
Hmm.
I'm a nervous being and that's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, you did well, take a deep breath, you know.
And then we can end this recording, and then the three of us can go over it as well for our takeaways from it as well.
All right, hold on, I'm gonna stop now.